We welcome back to the Packer Universe podcast Joey Christopoulos of Believe in Bears podcast and many other things. First off, Joey, Happy New Year. I guess remind Packer Universe what you do, where people can find you, and maybe what you've been up to new lately.
Tay, Ren, gentlemen, thank you so much for having me back on the show. Happy New Year. I follow me at Joey Sports Guy. I host Believe in Bears with former Bears defensive end Corey Wooten, who played for every NFC North team except for the Packers during his illustrious career. And I also have been recently worked. I'm now a producer for Beyond the Big Ten, hosting all sorts of different shows. And for your audience specifically, I host two fantastic Wisconsin college sports-centric shows. One is called Camp Randall Platoon, soon to be called a new show called The Money Down with James White, Sojourner Shelton, Warren Herring. Just had TJ Watt on the show last night. Big episode coming up there. And then also I produce a show called A Shot of Whiskey with former players Josh Gasser and Jordan Taylor, former Badgers too as well. So I got a lot of love for up north. Not so much love this week, gentlemen, but we are going to dive into it. And maybe my final thought is before we hopped on the show, I miss you guys. What the hell, man? I don't like this bookend stuff. I don't like week 1, week 18 Bears Packers. Even if I have a bit of an entertainment theater background, we used to call it tops and bottoms. I don't like this, guys. We gotta mix it up a little bit more. I don't like saying hello and goodbye. This isn't fun, but I'm happy to be here with you guys right now.
We're happy to have you, and super grateful, and Happy New Year to you as well. We're going to jump right into this, and hopefully we can maybe join you in the offseason as well, because there's going to be some big things happening in Bears land, and let's get there right off the bat. You know, last time we talked again, week 1, you wanted to get married and settle down with a quarterback. Well, as it happens, the Bears have locked up the number 1 pick, as you know, and to complicate it a little bit more, Justin Fields has started to look the part over the last half of the season. You know, what would you like to see happen with that number 1 pick? And we know they're going to have probably another, a top 15 pick as well.
This has worked out beautifully for General Manager Ryan Poles. Let's start there first and foremost. To be honest with you, I'm a Chicago Bears fan first, right? So moving forward, I think whatever they decide organizationally, I'm probably going to be able to wrap my head around. Whether they get it right, we'll know that at a different date. It's such a great question because it is so incredibly complex. If you're asking me today, right now, started to look at some of Caleb's tape, started to look at a little bit of Drake Mays, but look, we got 3 months for that, baby. We got a long time to go on that one. So as I'm staying here right now, I'm looking at houses. I'm shopping for rings a little bit on Justin. I really am. And it's been so funny. And it's really created this interesting, and when I say interesting, I actually say probably more unfortunate and dark version here of what's been going on with the Chicago Bears fan base, where, look, these two things are completely indisputable with Justin Fields right now. One is if you look at his numbers, the numbers aren't great. If you look at the advanced stats aren't great. The passing numbers aren't there. The fourth quarter numbers aren't there. If you want to play the win-loss record, you can do that too as well with Justin. But let's be fair, the first year with Nagy, second year they lost on purpose. I think a lot of Bears fans were rooting for that at the particular time. And then this year we've seen a little progress. But then on the other side, if you want to believe in some of the other stuff, sorry, my thing almost went out here with the computer. If you want to believe in some of the other stuff of the fact that he has improved incrementally just a little bit in everything that was flawed with him coming into his career, the processing has got a little bit better. The interceptions have gone down. He still takes a lot of sacks. We've seen it with his legs. His throwing motion has gotten tighter. We've seen better numbers as the years have gone on. That's gotten a lot better.
Justin's starting to do the right things, and kind of where you're at with Justin versus maybe a Caleb Williams or Drake May or Marvin Harrison at 1. I mean, how you feeling?
It's not a bad place to be, right? So I know that this conversation is drawing a lot of ire with people on Twitter, but for the Chicago Bears, they're sitting in a fantastic position. My brief thoughts is, I got an opportunity to see Marvin Harrison on the field against Wisconsin a couple months ago. And that dude is legit. right? And you really have an interesting game to play here when it comes to Caleb Williams, Drake May, and Marvin Harrison. There's one regard of saying, well, if you keep Justin, you have to give him a ton of money. That money's got to go to somewhere, right? If you draft Caleb Williams, you're going to be spending $25 million on a T. Higgins, right? Or $20 million on a Mike Evans. That's going to go somewhere. If you keep Justin and draft Marvin Harrison, now, you know what I mean? That money's being allocated for Marvin. You know what I mean? You don't have to, you kind of offset itself a little bit. So not too worried about that particular aspect of the money. And honestly, now that we're talking about it with the Chicago Bears, who cares about the money? It's not mine. Let's spend it. I'm sure you guys feel that way a little bit in Green Bay too as well. But look, Caleb is fantastic. My thing with Caleb right now is two major things with Caleb Williams. The first one is, I'll be honest with you, his size kind of scares me. It scares the death out of me. He's not 6'1". I think he's closer to 6 feet. There have been plenty of quarterbacks that have had success in the NFL, but those guys, I consider them more outliers than the norm. The other part about it too is that someone needs to sit me down and explain to me, like I'm 5 years old, what it is about Caleb Williams that's so special beyond the fact that everyone keeps saying he's so great off schedule. When the pocket breaks down, he makes fantastic plays. From my money, one, Justin Fields already does that. And two, basically what you're saying is when you have a team with wide receivers that can't get open or an offensive coordinator that can't call the right play, he's fantastic. We've already seen that in Chicago. We're already dealing with that with Justin Fields. So someone needs to kind of explain to me how Caleb plays on time in the pocket. And you guys know that better than anything in Green Bay about a guy who can be decisive and surgically distribute the ball out to different receivers. Someone's got to talk to me about that with Caleb Williams before I'm going to just jump ship on Justin Fields at this point. That's kind of where I'm landing on that right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can't give up something without either having the exact same thing, replacing it, or you're basically starting over with Caleb if you do that. And do you really want to be in that position again as a Bears fan? From our perspective, it doesn't matter. Like, keep doing that sort of thing. But you guys keep resetting it, going backwards, and you're into what? This will be the fourth year of Fields, and so.
Coming up end of year 3, year 4 coming up.
So year 4 coming up. So a decision has to be made, I think, and it's a big one. This is a pivotal moment again for you guys, and what you do. I mean, everyone's gonna be watching this, and with the development of Jordan Love, it was like there wasn't a lot of investment, I think, on the Packers end here, and we gave him a 2-year contract. We can still have an out there. But I don't think we're at that level of, what do we do now with Jordan Love as you guys are with Fields. So I think it's definitely, uncharted territory for you guys because it's pivotal what you guys do here, for the next 5-10 years almost. It will have repercussions down the road. So I don't know how much Bears Nation is really talking about this, and is it dividing the fan base a little bit?
1,000%. It's already gotten pretty nasty, to be honest with you. And you guys know how it is. I mean, I try and separate social media from the real world. In a lot of ways where I suffer from it too. Sometimes I just get on Twitter and you start scrolling and it's almost like you're like doing a drive-by. You're looking for bad takes that you can pounce on. Like I found myself guilty of that. And I think a lot of people do that too as well. And this leads to a larger point that I want to bring up to you guys. It's such a great question or a great point that you're bringing up where I wanted to ask you guys this too as well, because we live in this age now where I think Bears fans and Packers fans actually have something similarly in common right now. And that it is a really bad habit on social media for both of our quarterbacks, Jordan Love and Justin Fields, positive and negative, where people are cherry picking throws, certain plays, and then using those certain one play, negative or positive, as a confirmation bias. Now, I love finding an amazing throw by a quarterback, but when it also has the caption of, this is why other people are dumb, or this is why I am right. Aren't you guys also dealing with that with Jordan Love? Like a great throw here, but also a wide open guy missed here, and it's this cherry picking going on. And it really, I don't know, it almost strangely oversimplifies the complexity of being a great quarterback in the NFL, in my opinion.
Yeah, go ahead, Ren.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, with social media, it's really easy to be the prisoner of the moment kind of thing. And that is just a, bad week. You can pick out this, and this. I mean, Jordan had a really terrible kind of second quarter of the season. Everybody's questioning whether or not this guy can even throw a deep ball complete ever. And that seems to have gotten better. I won't say he's got quite the arm that Aaron or Brett has, but I tend to just stay away from that stuff. I think you're a lot safer to just put out a pretty straightforward, educated opinion as opposed to, just, again, that prisoner of the moment, recency bias stuff.
But Joey, it also shows people, it shows everyone out there on the internet that, are you a true fan or are you actually a sports evaluator or not? I mean, people pounced on Jordan Love this, in the second half, second quarter of the season because he wasn't doing well. And it was like, run him out of town. And it was like, hold on a second. But now you can see kind of like the people that understand what's going on. And when they look at Jordan and say, okay, well, he didn't have a perfect game, but it's good enough. And this is really his first year in starting quarterback for the Packers. So, he gets a little bit of a pass. So I think, more educated fans say, okay, I'm going to pump the brakes on all that stuff. And we'll just, we'll let this ride. We have a good thing coming here and he's not that bad. And obviously he's gotten better over the season here. But yeah, definitely run into that all the time. But back to your team though, the Bears, this happened with your head coach as well. But that win last week, that decisive win did a lot of good things for the Bears, for Fields, for Eberflus, right? And you guys won the last four of your five, with losing a little bit to Cleveland there, but you guys really have taken on, especially Fields too, since he came back in week 11. But the Bears have really kind of been playing a lot better lately, especially on defense. With the acquisition of Montez Sweat, things have started to happen for you guys. So, and I guess in your opinion, in your mind, what has changed for the Bears in this late season push?
It's a great question. I think a big part of it, honestly, has probably been the health of our defense. When I'm kind of looking back at now, retrospectively, because I'll be honest with everybody here, after we slipped to 0-4, when we're talking about the gradient levels of greatness and trash, when we were talking about Eberflus, I was talking about trash. I mean, I honestly, I was so shocked and disheartened how ill prepared the Chicago Bears looked to start the season, how slow we started, and for a coach trying to build something in his second year, for a guy who prides himself on this hits principle or whatever, I just thought he would have the guys ready to go. And even when we were terrible last year, the guys still played really hard from him. And I'm having a hard time really reconciling what happened in those first four games. Moving past that, and what has kind of changed is, Kyler Gordon started the year off on IR. He's a fantastic nickelback. Jaquan Brisker started off the season not healthy. Eddie Jackson started off the season not healthy. We were starting Ty Stevenson opposite Jalen Johnson at corner, who was a rookie. We had a new linebacking group. And then again, we did not have the addition of Montez Sweat. So once Montez Sweat came in, this thing completely flipped on its head. I have rarely seen someone make such a huge impact. I mean, Khalil Mack was huge in 2018. It is similar to what Montez Sweat has done with the Chicago Bears defense. And look, you got to, at this point, there are some things that you have to give Matt Eberflus credit for. I mean, we were the worst run defense I had ever seen in my Bears life last year. They were 31st in the league for a reason. If we're not in first, we're top two, top three right now. That's a hell of a flip in 1 year. And now when you start looking at it on the other side, when you start talking about trying to cause turnovers, I think we have 20 interceptions on the season. That's an incredible mix. And you start seeing when guys coming back and started playing healthy a little bit, the pieces started falling into place. Tyreek Stevenson, I think our rookie, now has 3 or 4 interceptions on the year. Kyler Gordon is playing fantastic football. Jalen Johnson's earning a big contract with the team. Montez Sweat's getting after the quarterback. And even the guys that he drafted, Ryan Poles in the second round, a guy like Javon Dexter's playing really well. So, maybe it took a little bit longer. As a fan, I have a hard time reconciling maturation process with not being ready to start a season. And I've had a hard time with Matt Eberflus in terms of making adjustments, whether it's in game, whether it's preparation to start a season. But yeah, no, the wind blowing in the Windy City right now is towards Matt Eberflus returning next year with the Chicago Bears. And I'll be honest with you guys too as well. I mean, the Chicago Bears love making a voodoo doll and poking it with a pin with their offensive coordinators. Luke Getsy's slowly making himself a case too as well to return if Justin Fields returns too as well. And the whole run it back mentality is becoming a real thing. And I would not have said that in week 1, but I am coming around to the specter that can be true.
Without a doubt. I mean, that backfield is fantastic. Jalen Johnson, you mentioned, he's going to get the bag when he gets to that point. And honestly, Montez Sweat, yeah, I mean, he always was a talented player, but he seems like, the second coming of Julius Peppers when he got to Chicago, and he's just tearing it up over there. It's been incredible. Not a kind of an acquisition you thought. I mean, it seems like Washington just kind of sold the farm to everybody who would take, Chase or Montez. I can't believe what they're doing, throwing out, just giving up on 2 young guys who were so talented. But yeah, good for the Bears. They win that one for sure. Question for you, as an outsider, as one of those Flatlander folks down in the state of Illinois, but obviously out west. But we decided not to be nice week 1 and not rub it in. It was hard not to send you, a DM that day when things were really rolling for the Packers, but we wanted to stay friends. It was a new friendship. So we didn't do that, but here we are again, the bookend, last game of the season. As an outsider, what are your thoughts as a Bears fan about Jordan Love's development?
First of all, you guys, my brother's in the North. You can always talk smack. Let's be honest. I still consider it a rivalry, Bears Packers. But you guys have owned our ass for a while. I don't think we've beaten you in 5 years. So please, no. Gloat along and allow me the time to celebrate too as well if we ever turn this thing around. So my outside perspective with the Green Bay Packers is, it's just so funny. I had this conversation the other day. It's just really funny that when we get into the preseason and we sit around and we go, how many wins for our teams? And we sit around and we go maybe 7, 8, 9. And at the time we kind of feel good about ourselves. It feels like, oh, that's going to be a feisty season. We're going to be playing for a playoff spot. That actually kind of sounds a lot of fun. Oh my God. 8 or 9 wins is not fun. It is not fun. Once you get into the week to week, it is not fun. And I feel like that my Packers people up north probably feel that very same way, where you guys are on the doorstep of a wild card. But let's be honest, guys, has it felt really good this year? Right? I mean, the ebbs and flows of an NFL season need a lot more respect. They cannot be described on a piece of paper. And I'm with you. When I see Jordan Love, I see a guy with a throwing motion and the ability and flashes to make a lot of very, very capable throws. That would make him an above average quarterback in the NFL. I'm a big fan of Christian Watson. I was a guy that wanted us to target him before you guys snatched him up in the 30s a couple years in the draft. I think he's a big time weapon. The Aaron Jones stuff has been kind of a bummer, but good news. You know what I mean? AJ Dillon, I thought, has stepped up fairly admirably. But yeah, no, I just kind of see a team struggling with some of the stuff that a lot of the teams struggle with in the NFL. And I don't mean this in a derogatory way, but trying to work your way out of mediocrity a little bit. You look good in some moments, but these other things continue to hold you back a little bit. You kind of have yourself some questions of, can you continue to push? Can you continue to push that ceiling? And I think that goes forward for Jordan Love. I mean, let's be fair. There was a time when we were growing up or when we were younger. Now, when I was growing up, younger, let's just take Jordan Love, for example. This is by and large his rookie season, even though he's been in the NFL for a long time. Mm-hmm. When I was growing up, the NFL quarterback in year 1, year 2 throws a ton of interceptions, and we just accept it, right? Remember, it was like, hey, he's learning where the ball should go. He's learning to take chances. He's learning what window is open, what isn't. He's going to throw a lot of picks, make a ton of mistakes. But by that second or third year, you either shore it up or you don't, right?
And Peyton Manning back in '99, man.
Yep.
Absolutely. I mean, look, go down the line of some of these guys in these rookie years and their interception numbers, and you'll say to yourself, "Wow, that makes a lot of sense." I think Jordan Love probably deserves a little more grace than, I don't know, maybe Packers fans are not giving him. The dude's thrown 30 touchdowns this year. Do I think he's ready for the Pro Bowl? No. Personally, does he really scare me in the NFC North right now? No. But I think he's a guy that continue to grow. and become a guy that can become a formidable, person that's going to vie for NFC North like titles in the next coming years. So yeah, I don't know. That's kind of where I land on a little bit. I try and lean a little bit more into the work in progress with some of these guys and understand that there is more room to grow than maybe saying a guy is a bust or won't work out. And Tay, man, you brought up a great point. I think the contract that you guys have with him right now puts you guys in an advantageous position to kind of sort of be a little patient until you don't want to be patient anymore, right?
Until we give him the Daniel Jones bag. Yeah, we don't want to do that.
No, don't do that. Yeah, so I mean that's kind of where I'm at with the Packers right now, and I like the Bears' chances to win this weekend. So, and then they could end up being a playoff team. So it's kind of they're in the middle of the pack right now. There's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad.
Before I get off that topic, have you seen the Twitter X posts or the memes of Jordan Love has done what no Chicago Bears quarterback has ever done in his first season? The touchdowns and the yards. Have you seen that one? It's kind of brutal, man.
Bravo. I live by numbers. Yeah, look, the 30's a bummer, right? I think ours is 28 or 29 from Eric Kramer in the late 90s. In the late 90s, everybody, when Matt Pinfield was still running the airwaves after 11:30 at night on MTV. That's how long ago. So yes, I just went there with that reference. Yeah, look, I mean, Jay would have done it. Jay always got hurt for a couple times every single year. And it does lead into a larger point of not to get too psychological about it, but Chicago Bears fans do need to check themselves every once in a while and just remind themselves we've never had a great quarterback in a Bears uniform. So how do you know what you have if you've never seen it before? So I try and lead myself into that one too as well. But good for Jordan Love. Good for Jordan Love. Not on Sunday.
Well, I guess that's our last kind of comment question for you. You kind of already answered it, but I know you have to get going, and that's no problem. But the Packers win and they're in this Sunday, and it's pretty. For us, like you just a few minutes ago, you were talking about mediocrity and how this, like a 7, 8, 9 win season's kind of brutal, and it's been for us. It's been up and down, and we didn't know if we should just give up or whatever. But now we're still somehow still in it, and Packer universe feels great about that. But we're one same situation last year, winning they're in. So can Jordan in this new era do that? We will see. But you think that the Bears will spoil that?
I do. We're playing really good football right now, guys. I'll be honest with you.
How good would it make you feel? How good, like as a Bears fan, to spoil the Packers' chances to get into the postseason, just like they could have done last year. And the Lions had nothing to play for. The Bears are eliminated as of this week. You get to the Bears can stick it to the Packers finally.
I know, and I'll tell you guys, if the Lions made me do a little dance last year when they kept you guys out of the playoffs, I don't know. Fosse, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. I might do a whole Broadway. I might do a whole Broadway situation. Look, man, we've been taking our lumps from you guys from a long time. And it's time that we hand the baton over to someone else and smack you guys on the bottom for a little bit. I wouldn't be upset with that at all. I think it's gonna be a great game. And no, I've actually been picking the Bears to lose in the last couple weeks, but they continue to prove me wrong. I think the Chicago Bears have a great opportunity to win this game. The best part about it is I think it's going to come down to the quarterbacks. It's going to come down to a throw or two in the second half. And what better, both of our franchises are hoping and praying that the guy that's slinging the rock for us on Sundays is the dude of the future. So what better way than to see in the second half which one steps up and makes that throw or makes that play that, will give us plenty of fodder to talk about in the offseason. I'm going Bears win on this one, boys. And I hope to hear from you either way in our direct messages and our DMs after this game.
Absolutely.
Well,
we might even make those public. Maybe we'll throw that out into the X verse or whatever you want and make it public. But great stuff, Joey.
Especially if I have a meltdown, you're also allowed to do it too as well.
No, but I think it's going to be a great game too. I think you're exactly right, and I think this is what NFL football is, and this is what they want out of the last game of the season. Winning you're in, kind of spoiler thing. So and for us being the rivalry that it is, this is huge and a lot of fun. So I think the Packers will win. Ren, what about you?
Oh, Go Pack, go!
Good,
They're gonna
as you
they're gonna
should.
handle them, no
That's
doubt.
right.
The streak continues against the Chicago Bears. What is it? 2018, something like that. It's been a minute. As
Yeah.
the kids say, Joey.
It's I've been married for over 5 years now. It's probably somewhere in there. So, and I turn 40 tomorrow, gentlemen. So, I mean, honestly, we got some stuff here to really like. We got to really dig in here. We got to start snapping some streaks here. Hopefully, it comes on Sunday. And if not, man, we're gonna roll it into next year and talk about it all again. In the words of for you, Tay and Ren, in the words of our fantastic announcer this week. Oh boy! Oh Ren! Oh Tay! Oh no! Oh!
Awesome.
That's a good Tony, Joey.
Thanks, Ren.
That's pretty good stuff. You know, we really appreciate you coming on and doing this with us, and really we love to visit you in the offseason, especially after who knows what happens, you know, in free agency, if a trade happens before the draft, and what Chicago does with all that draft capital. Could it really be turning towards the Bears side? We'll see if Poles is the genius some of you Chicago fans think he is, and if you're breaking up with Justin, or you know, you're continuing on with that relationship. That will certainly be a fun thing to watch. But hey, man, your 40th birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday! That's
birthday,
awesome.
Joey.
Enjoy. We hope that's one heck of a day for you tomorrow, and not on Sunday.
And then the rest of the week falls apart. Guys, I have such a great time with you guys anytime. Definitely the off season. Hope to see you guys again soon. Yeah, let's not make it 18 weeks until we talk again for sure. Schedules be damn. But yeah, thanks so much for having me on. I'll be back soon. Go Bears.
Thanks,
Go
Joey.
Pack, go.
Go Pack, go. Take care.
Happy birthday.
See you guys.
Take care.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.